I want you to take a deep breath because I know how heavy the silence feels right now. You've done the hardest thing imaginable by choosing yourself and cutting the cord, but the quiet isn't as peaceful as they promised it would be. It's a loud, ringing void that keeps you up at night, wondering if they ever actually cared. I see that pain in your eyes, and I'm here to tell you that you aren't crazy for feeling it. There is a specific kind of agony that settles in when you finally go no contact. It's the realization that while you are picking up the shattered pieces of your soul, the person who broke you seems to have simply vanished into a new life. You expect a battle, or perhaps a grand apology, but instead, you are met with a cold, calculated absence. It feels like you never existed at all, and that erasure is a trauma all its own. You're sitting there scrolling, or maybe staring at a blank wall, waiting for the other shoe to drop. You've blocked the numbers and deleted the photos, yet you can still feel their presence lurking in the shadows of your mind. Why does it feel like they are winning the breakup? Why does their silence feel like a physical blow to the chest? It's because the narcissist is doing something intentional right now. Something very dark. We need to talk about the painful thing. It's the secret weapon they deploy when they realize they can no longer pull your strings. Most people call it moving on, but for the narcissist, it's a form of psychological execution. They aren't just living without you. They are actively curating a reality where you were the problem and they are the triumphant survivor. It is a slow-burn cruelty designed to make you break first. Think back to all those times they told you that they couldn't live without you. All the tears and the desperate promises that you were the only person who ever truly understood them. Now look at the void. It's jarring, isn't it? The contrast between their intense need for you then and their absolute indifference now is enough to give anyone emotional whiplash. It makes you question every single memory you thought was real and sacred. This isn't just about them being gone, it's about the way they left. When you go no contact, you are reclaiming your power, but the narcissist views that as an act of high treason. They cannot allow you to be the one who ended the story. So, they begin to write a new ending behind your back, one where you are the villain of the piece. It's a quiet, invisible war, and the silence is just the cover they need to move their troops into place. You might be checking their social media through a burner account or hearing whispers from mutual friends. And what do you see? A person who looks happier than they ever were with you. They are doing the things you begged them to do for years. They are smiling in ways that look effortless. It feels like a slap in the face because it's meant to be. It's a performance staged for an audience of one, and that audience is you. I want you to understand that this feeling of being discarded like trash is the most common experience for survivors. But common doesn't mean easy. It feels like your entire history has been rewritten in permanent ink while you weren't looking. You are mourning a relationship while they are celebrating your absence. It's a dynamic that defies human logic because you are dealing with someone who lacks a human emotional compass. Let's get real for a second. The painful thing isn't just that they moved on, it's the speed and the coldness of it. It's the way they can look into a new pair of eyes and say the exact same words they once whispered to you. It feels like a soul death. You start to wonder if you were ever special, or if you were just a tool that finally lost its edge. That doubt is exactly what they wanted to leave you with as a parting gift. We are going to peel back the curtain tonight. I am going to show you exactly what is happening in that void and why their happiness is the biggest lie they've ever told. By the end of this, you won't be looking at their silence with fear, you'll be looking at it with the clarity of someone who finally sees the monster for what it is. You aren't being forgotten, you are being replaced by a fantasy. And fantasies always crumble. To understand why they do this, you have to realize that a narcissist's ego is like a bucket with a massive hole in the bottom. No matter how much love, attention, or sacrifice you poured into it, it never stayed full. When you went no contact, you stopped pouring. For them, this isn't a heartbreak, it's an ego injury. They didn't lose a partner, they lost a primary source of life-sustaining fuel. And that makes them very, very dangerous. They don't experience grief the way you do. When you lose someone, you sit with the memories and the pain. You process the why. The narcissist cannot do that because looking inward is terrifying. If they stop to miss you, they might accidentally see themselves. So they immediately pivot. They find a new mirror, a new supply, to reflect back the image of the good person, they desperately need to believe they are. It's survival, not love. Think of the new supply as a fresh coat of paint on a house that is structurally rotting. They need that person to believe the lies so they can keep believing it too. This is why they move at lightning speed. It's not that they found the one, it's that they found a new host. You were the host for a long time, and now that you've developed an immunity to their poison, they have to find someone who hasn't been exposed to it yet. It's purely tactical. The silence you are experiencing is actually a form of punishment. In their mind, you abandoned them by setting boundaries. To a narcissist, a boundary is an attack. So, their total disappearance is a way to say, you think you can live without me? Fine. I will show you that you are nothing. It is a calculated effort to trigger your abandonment anxiety and make you crawl back. They are betting on your trauma response to bring you to your knees. They are also rewriting the history of your relationship in real time. Every fight they started becomes a time you attacked them. Every lie they told becomes a secret you were keeping. They need to be the victim to justify their next move. If they are the victim, then their immediate replacement of you isn't cheating or coldness, it's healing. It's a disgusting twist of logic that allows them to sleep perfectly well at night. You might notice they are suddenly doing all the hobbies you suggested. Maybe they are going to the gym, or traveling, or being the perfect partner to someone new. This isn't growth. It's mimicry. They are using the blueprint you gave them to build a trap for the next person. They are literally using your ideas and your desires to perform a version of themselves that doesn't exist. It's a theatrical production, and you are the director. Behind the scenes, the narcissist is in a state of high alert panic. Without you to blame for their internal misery, they have to work double time to find someone else to carry that burden. The new supply is already being groomed to be your replacement in every sense of the word. They aren't being loved, they are being assigned a role. And the tragedy is that they have no idea that the script they are reading was written in your blood and tears. The painful thing is that they use your absence to create a purity narrative. Now that you aren't there to provide a counter-narrative or point out the truth, they can tell whatever story they want. To the outside world, they are finally free from your toxicity. It feels like a betrayal because it is. They are killing your reputation to keep their own alive. It's a psychological smear campaign that thrives in the darkness of no contact. They want you to see their new life. They want you to see the glow up. If they were truly happy, they wouldn't need to post it. Truly happy people are busy living, not documenting their joy for the person they supposedly don't care about anymore. Every perfect photo is a heat-seeking missile aimed at your heart. They are trying to provoke a reaction because any reaction, even a hateful one, is proof that they still have power over you. This is the secret knowledge you need to hold on to. Their indifference is a mask for their obsession with control. They are watching you far more than you think. They are checking to see if you are breaking. They are waiting for that "I miss you" text so they can ignore it and feel superior. Their silence is not the absence of thought. It is the presence of a weaponized ego. They are holding their breath, waiting for you to suffocate first. Then the shift happens. You've been silent for weeks, maybe months, and you've managed to stay away. This is when the narcissist realizes their silence isn't breaking you. Instead of coming back with a hoover or an apology, they double down on the erasure. This is the turning point where the story goes from a breakup to a full-scale psychological war. They realize you might actually be done, and that realization is an insult they cannot tolerate. Suddenly, mutual friends start acting strange. You get left out of group texts. You hear that things are being said, dark, twisted versions of your private moments. The narcissist has begun the social execution. This is the part that hurts the most because it feels like they are taking your community away along with the relationship. They are building a fortress of lies, and they are making sure you are on the outside of the walls. You see them out at your favorite spots with the new person. They aren't just there, they are making a scene of how happy they are. It's a dramatic display. They might even wear the clothes you bought them or use the catchphrases you came up with together. It's like watching a movie of your own life, but someone else is playing your part. It feels like your identity is being harvested and worn by a stranger while the world cheers them on. The narcissist is watching your reaction through the grapevine. Every tear you shed that gets back to them is a win. Every time you try to defend yourself to a mutual friend, they use it as proof that you are the unstable one. They are baiting you. They want you to scream, to lash out, to act crazy. Because if you act crazy, it validates everything they've said about you. They are setting a trap, and silence is the only way to avoid the spring. This is the moment where you feel the most alone. You realize that the person you loved doesn't just want to be away from you. They want to destroy the memory of you. It's a level of malice that is hard for a healthy mind to compute. You're asking, how could they? While they are asking, how can I hurt them more? The disconnect between your empathy and their coldness is a chasm that feels impossible to cross. But you don't need to cross it. The pacing of their new life accelerates. It's an engagement, a new house, soulmate post within months. It feels like they are sprinting away from you, but in reality, they are sprinting away from their own emptiness. They are trying to build a new world before the old one catches up to them. It's a frantic, desperate attempt to stay ahead of the truth. They are running on a treadmill of external validation, and the new supply is the motor. You start to see the cracks if you look closely, but usually we are too blinded by our own pain to see them. The new supply starts looking a little tired. The posts become a little too frequent, a little too forced. The perfect life is a facade that requires constant maintenance. The narcissist is exhausted, but they can't stop. They have to prove to you and to everyone else that you are the only thing standing in the way of their greatness. The psychological plot twist is this: they haven't moved on at all. Everything they are doing is still in reaction to you. If you didn't exist, they wouldn't be performing. You are still the center of their universe, but now you are the black hole they are trying to avoid being sucked into. They are orbiting you with a mixture of terror and rage. Their happiness is a defense mechanism. It's a shield they've built to protect themselves from your silence. You realize that the painful thing is actually a sign of your success. If you were truly insignificant, they wouldn't need to erase you so aggressively. They wouldn't need the smear campaign or the public displays of affection. People don't put this much effort into someone they've truly forgotten. Their obsession with appearing over you is the ultimate proof that they are still haunted by you. Your silence is a mirror they can't stand to look into. Let the realization land. They are working hard. They are putting in hours of emotional labor to maintain a lie. Meanwhile, you are just existing. You are grieving. You are hurting. But you are being honest. There is a massive power shift happening here. You are sitting in the truth, and they are living in a burning theater, trying to convince the audience that the fire is just part of the show. The turning point is when you stop watching. Now we enter the darkest part of the forest. The total erasure begins to feel permanent. You reach a point where you realize that the person you knew is truly dead. Or rather, they never existed. The supply they are with now is getting the version of them you always wanted, but it's a counterfeit. It's a stolen version of you. The consequences of their behavior are starting to ripple out, even if you can't see the waves yet. The narcissist begins to believe their own lies. This is the collapse. When they successfully convince a new group of people that you were the monster, they feel a momentary sense of peace. But that peace is fragile. It relies on the new supply never asking questions and the old supply never speaking up. They are living on borrowed time. Every day they spend in this new, perfect life is another day they have to hide their true, rotting core. You might see them doing the exact thing you begged for. Maybe it's a vacation to that one city, or finally getting that dog. It's a specific, surgical strike on your emotions. They want you to think, if only I had been better, I would have gotten that too. But here is the harsh truth. They are only doing those things because they know it hurts you. It's not a gift to the new person. It's a weapon used against you. It's hollow and meaningless. The consequence for the narcissist is that they are trapped in a cycle of eternal recurrence. They think they've escaped you, but they've just brought their own sickness into a new room. Eventually, the new supply will make a mistake. They will have a boundary, or they will get sick, or they will stop providing enough fuel. And in that moment, the narcissist will look at them and see you. The cycle of devalue and discard is already beginning. The truth is unflinching. They are miserable. No amount of Instagram filters can change the fact that they are terrified of being alone with their thoughts. Their life is a constant escape mission. They are escaping the shame of what they did to you, and they are escaping the reality of who they are. You are dealing with a psychological ghost, someone who has no solid ground to stand on. Their victory is a hollow trophy made of painted plastic. You were a real person who loved them with a real heart. That is something they can never take away, even if they pretend it never happened. The consequence of them erasing you is that they lose the only authentic connection they might have ever had. They traded a diamond for a handful of glitter because glitter is easier to manage. They are destined to live a life of superficiality, forever chasing a high that will never be enough to fill the void. They are banking on you breaking. They are waiting for you to call them out, to send that long email, to show up at their house. They need you to stay in the game. But when you stay silent, when you truly disappear, you become their greatest nightmare. You become a mystery they can't solve. Your absence is a constant reminder of their failure. They can't win a game that you've stopped playing. And that is the ultimate consequence for them. The closure you are looking for will never come from their mouth. They will never say, "I'm sorry I hurt you." If they did, it would require them to admit they are flawed, and their ego won't allow that. Their version of closure is making you feel like nothing so they can feel like everything. It's a zero-sum game. You have to find closure in the fact that they are incapable of change. Their behavior after the breakup is the most honest they've ever been. They hate you because you know the truth. You saw behind the mask. You saw the small, fearful child hiding behind the rage and the grandiosity. The new supply doesn't know that version yet. To the narcissist, you are a walking evidence locker. By erasing you, they are trying to burn the evidence. But the fire doesn't destroy the truth, it just leaves scars. You are the scar on their soul that they can't stop itching. It's time to accept the harsh reality. They didn't love you. Not in the way you understand love. They loved the way you made them feel. They loved the service you provided. When you stopped providing it, you became an obsolete piece of software. It's cold, it's dark, and it's honest. But in that honesty, there is a strange kind of freedom. If they never loved you, then their erasure of you isn't personal. It's just what they do to things they can't use. We are stepping out of the darkness now. I want you to look at your hands and realize that they are free. You are no longer responsible for managing someone else's bottomless insecurity. The painful thing they did, the replacement, the smear campaign, the silence, it was the final lesson you needed to learn. It was the universe showing you exactly who they were so that you would never, ever be tempted to go back. Their happiness is a burning house with a fresh coat of paint. You might see the bright colors, but you don't see the smoke in their lungs. You don't see the way they have to walk on eggshells to keep the new supply from seeing the truth. You are the only one who is actually breathing fresh air right now. It might feel cold and your lungs might sting, but you are alive. You are finally, undeniably, out of the cage. You are free from the performance. You don't have to curate your life for them anymore. You don't have to wonder if your smile looks real enough. You can be messy, you can be broken, and you can be human. The narcissist can never be human. They are a character in a play that never ends. You've walked out of the theater, and while the play is still going on without you, you are the only one who gets to go home to reality. The pain of being forgotten is actually the greatest gift they could have given you. If they were still hovering, if they were still checking in, you would still be tied to them. Their total erasure of you is the clean break you didn't have the heart to make yourself. They think they are punishing you with their absence, but they are actually protecting you from their presence. It is a mercy disguised as a cruelty. I want to validate your trauma. It is okay that this hurts. It is okay that you feel replaced. It is okay that you want to scream at the unfairness of it all. But I also want you to see your strength. You survived a psychological predator. You walked away from a soul-crushing dynamic and you chose your own life over their lies. That is an act of incredible bravery. You are a warrior who is just now laying down their sword. Reclaim your narrative. They don't own the story of your relationship. They don't get to decide who you are. You know the truth of what happened in those quiet rooms. You know the kindness you gave and the cruelty you received. Their smear campaign is just noise. People who matter will see through the lie eventually, and those who don't aren't your people anyway. Your truth doesn't need a publicist, it just needs you to believe it. Start building a life where their opinion is nothing more than static on a radio you've already turned off. Every time you focus on your own healing, every time you eat a good meal, laugh with a real friend, or enjoy a quiet moment of peace, you are winning. Not because you are beating them, but because you are outgrowing them. You are becoming a version of yourself that they wouldn't even recognize, and that is the ultimate safety. Picture yourself walking away from a massive fire. You don't need to look back to see if it's still burning. You don't need to wonder what the flames are consuming. You just keep walking until the warmth on your back fades and the air feels cool and clean. The narcissist is the fire, all heat and no heart. You are the survivor who made it to the other side. Don't turn back. There is nothing left in the ashes for you. You won. I need you to hear those words. You won because you are capable of empathy, and they are not. You won because you can feel this pain, and they have to run from it. You won because you are capable of change, and they are stuck in a loop of misery forever. The painful thing they did was their last-ditch effort to keep you small, but all it did was prove how much bigger you are than the world they tried to trap you in. The ultimate revenge isn't them seeing you happy, it's you forgetting they exist.